Over the weekend, I watched the first ever Garena Masters with Blacklist International pulling the victory against Almighty in the finals. Today we're going over the tips I'm going to steal that I hope you will find useful as well. Ready? A public service reminder, switch to your secondary. Not only when you run out of bullets, but in 1v1 close range situations where you're both carrying a sniper rifle. Even if you're the greatest sniper in the world, the smartest thing to do is to switch to your secondary weapon for more mobility, and you'll be able to spam your shots to the enemy as well. A good thing to keep in mind is to pick up an eliminated player's gun and use that as your secondary weapon, so you'll have more flexibility moving forward. Garena Masters? More like Thumper Masters. Watching Garena pros use Thumper is kinda terrifying because once everyone knows how to use this really well, you wouldn't be able to just get behind cover and prone to protect yourself. Not only that, it can also be used for clearing out objectives such as preventing enemies from capturing a flag or retaking a hardpoint hill. It's used as an extra grenade / a secondary weapon, and Thumper is not that hard to use. That's why Garena pros take huge advantage of it. Watching Garena pros play Search and Destroy will show you how being patient when watching angles pay off huge when they get the kill. Players at this level rely on their map knowledge and game sense as to where to peek and watch an angle because they know where their enemies tend to go depending on the map. In a way, it's also a gamble because holding an angle for long without any backup can end with you getting backstabbed. Pro players tend to focus on the objective and run towards it, and with how loud footsteps are in the game, a lot of Garena players tend to take advantage of that and hold corners to wait for enemies to pass right by them and catch them off guard to get the kill. You just have to know where enemies will make their way through, depending on their spawn and objective. Find corners where players won't bother looking when they are rushing to get to a certain area in the map. Here are some corners that Garena players used in the tournament. In a gunfight, you don't always have to spray until you run out of bullets. If you think that you're at a disadvantage, you can back off. This is called breaking line of sight, and this is where you hide yourself from the enemy to reposition and possibly get a better angle to win the gunfight. This also works if you're in a 2v1 situation where both enemies are right in front of you. If one gets eliminated, break line of sight and sneak around to eliminate the second enemy. Pro players will always look for the trade, so use that mentality against them. Make them feel safe for a while, then bam! You come out of nowhere and win a 2v1. With CBR4 and Kilo 141's fast time to kill, it would make sense to dodge some bullets in order to reduce the damage you take. Garena pro players almost never forget to strafe whenever using automatic weapons in a gunfight. Especially with CBR4 being an SMG, having the ability to strafe comes in handy for fast-paced situations when playing respawns. Don't just stand there, move your joystick left and right whenever you're in the gunfight or even when you're pre-aiming. Pinching is often used by two players to focus on one enemy. Usually if one player is engaging the enemy, the other one sneaks behind the enemy to secure the elimination. Garena players are so used to this that they already have a sense of when it's going to happen. It's just a matter of who has the better timing. Whenever you're alone, clutching a 2v1 situation in S&D, or clearing out a hardpoint providing entry, always turn back to check for the pinch and try to get that second kill. If you don't like the feeling of sitting in corners, walking in respawns is a great idea as well. Like I said, footsteps are very loud, so walk around unexpected areas and surprise enemies. This is also effective for when you're trying to clear an area or break a hardpoint. Instead of running inside, walk as you're approaching the hill so they won't hear you from afar. These previous tips are useful when you're playing for streaks. Persistence is banned in major tournaments, and huge streaks like Predator Missile, Goliath, and Cluster Strike are game-changing when it comes to playing respawns. Heaven is one of the players that are smart enough when to play for streaks, utilizing his operator skill while on the objective to get as many points as possible. You can also learn how to use tactical equipment from Garena players. They use smoke grenades to mask their footsteps aside from blinding the lanes where they want to push. Concussions are used to delay enemy movement as well as for information in Search and Destroy and respawn game modes. If you aren't carrying a trophy system, try copying how Garena players use these tactical equipment. If you still haven't mastered using the SVD, now is the time to do so. It is overpowered if you can hit your shots. There's nothing more annoying than getting sent back to respawn after running over to the objective. Players like Woopiiee and Incendio really utilized these guns, and I think we're going to see more of them in the future. What's one thing you learned from pros? Let us know down in the comments below. Now that we've learned all about Garena, what about learning from a global pro? Click the video right here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.